Okay, welcome back. In our last video, we left off at downloading and installing VirtualBox. So from here, we want to see how practically you can install an operating system. And for your case, I will advise that you install Kali, all right, for the purpose of our exercises. But if you see on my screen, I already have Kali installed. So I'm not going to install Kali in this tutorial or this little guide. I will install something else, but the steps will be the same. So what I'm going to install is I'm going to install Dragon, all right, Dragon OS. Now Dragon OS is also a Linux based operating system or Linux distribution. So there are several different Linux distributions, all right. Consider distribution to be like flavors, okay. So just like ice cream, you have chocolate flavor, you have whatever flavors. So Linux comes in different flavors. All right, so Kali is a flavor of Linux. So you pick that one for your case. Like you can see on my screen, it's like different flavors of Linux. To get Kali, let me take you. All right. So you Google Kali Linux ISO or download, and then once it appears like this, you go to the official Kali Linux website where you click on Get Kali and scroll down. All right, and click on the installer for Windows-based systems, of course, like mine. Simply click on installer here and it will download the ISO file for you. It might take quite some time, but once it's downloaded, it will appear something like this. All right, it will appear something like this on your computers. So once you have the file, all you need to do, come back to your virtual machine, and here you will go to machine, new. So once you have this, all right, I hope you can see the different fields. But if you are following with your own computer, the fields are identical. All right, the fields are identical. So it asks you, it prompts you for the name of the system, of the operating system. That is the name that will appear on the left panel. So I will just say Dragon, or let me just say Dragon OS, and it will ask. Now the folder is selected already by default. This is where my VirtualBox VM is installed. So it will do the installation to the virtual machine on this path or located at this path. So no need to change this. Now I have to select the ISO image that I downloaded. So I go to Other, and I will navigate through my file system until I find the ISO image. So I already did that once, so that's why it's here directly. But you will need to, navigate all your file system and find the exact place. For your case, if you left it in the downloads folder, you will simply have to come to downloads and you will find it somewhere there. So once you say open, okay. For this case, for my case, it does not allow me to change the edition, the type, and the version. But I think for Kali installation, it allows you to do that. So it's pretty simple, all right? You don't need to disturb yourself. It will be of type Linux, of course. Version, I think it will be Debian 64-bit, if you're running a 64-bit computer. So you just need to, remain coherent. If you don't know what to use here, Google it. It's simple, all right? Don't need to bother yourself. You just Google it. What edition do I pick for my Kali installation on VirtualBox? You'll definitely see. So for my case, it says no need. It has already picked Ubuntu 64. It means though it's a Linux distribution, it is very next to Ubuntu. Ubuntu is another Linux distribution operating system. So all right, okay, then we go to next. Base memory. This is the RAM that is going to allocate by default to my operating system. This is the number of processors it will give or CPU power. I will leave this by default. This size, however, I will take it up to, because I have this space, all right, so you are going to do this based on how much you can allocate to this operating system, to your Kali operating system. But I will advise you to give enough resource, especially on this space, that will permit you to perform regular updates. Your Kali will grow in size as you keep updating it. So give it some good hard disk size. Then next, and then finish. Now, once that is done, see on my left, there is the most recent or latest system that appears at the bottom. So once it is here like this, I just need to select it. It's already selected or highlighted, and then I say start. Same procedure that you will follow. And this will now start the offline but custom installation of the operating system. In other words, this is the same way you would proceed in installing, like this, the steps we are going to follow from here will be the same steps you would follow if you had to install this operating system on your hard drive. So the part that concerns the VirtualBox or the hypervisor is almost finished. So how to install this operating system or your own operating system like Kali, you can find that anywhere. You can go to the official Kali website and see how to install Kali on a computer, step-by-step procedure, right? If I had to do that here, the video will be too long. So I'm not going to wait for this installation to go to an end, but I'm already telling you where you can find it. All these operating systems have step-by-step guide on how to install them. So just follow that. But as far as the hypervisor is concerned and how to install it here, this is how you do it. Okay. One thing, however, that I want to note or highlight is the configuration. How do you configure this? I'll take something that I already have installed and configured, like Kali. So if you pick the operating system, or for your case, once the operating system has finished installing, you highlight and go to settings. Okay, now you can even see that the name is Kali Linux. That is during the installation on the virtual machine, the part that was already pre-selected for me where I could not change. Actually, when I was installing Kali, the name was Kali Linux, the type was Linux, and the version was Debian 64. So you'll just maintain the same values. All right. When you go to advanced, all right, come to the level of shared clipboard and click bidirectional, the last one, and then drag and drop, also click bidirectional. I explained to you why. This permits you to be able to exchange files between your host system, that is your Windows system, and your virtual system, that is your virtual operating system, or Kali. So if you do not select this option, it may be impossible actually for you to be able to take a file from Windows to Kali and back. Remember, one of the operating systems is actually running in a virtual environment. But because this is all ones and zeros at the level of the hardware, okay, there must be a way we can exchange files between both. So this is the option where you do that. You pick it here and then you select it. Description, this encryption, nothing to do there. System, all right. Here, if you wanted to readjust maybe RAM based on how much you had, say for example, I have 12 gig of RAM on this computer, so I can comfortably allocate 3 gig for my Kali Linux system. All right, so you will do this based on what you have and how to maximize that resource for the other operations or activities that you're carrying out. Display, pretty much the same. You leave everything. You no need to change anything. Storage also. Um, Audio, I think so. The most important one for me here is network. All right. So listen to this part carefully. By default, it will come on the NAT network, network address translator or translation. So this is where you are able to, by default, when it is on NAT, you have internet access to your virtual machine. In other words, if you have access on your home computer or your base computer because you have a network card that is connected to the internet, when you use the NAT setting, you will be able to also translate your addresses on the virtual machine or virtual operating systems into internet addresses on the network or on the internet so that you can have network access. So by default, it will come this way. You can allow it like this. But I would like you to take note that when the time comes when we want to connect or create a network of operating systems, like for example, remember I told you that the advantage of using a hypervisor or a virtual machine like this is you can create a virtual network of computers on just one computer. So think of a real life network in an environment where you have three computers, one running Kali, one running Windows 11, and another one running Windows 10 or Windows 7. So how do I replicate that in this virtual environment? I will run, like I will start Kali here, I will start Windows 11 here, and I will also start Windows 10 here. All the three operating systems will load and start running at the same time. But now, if I want these three operating systems to behave as if they were on a network, I will have to put them on a virtual network. And it is here that you will do so. So remember here, but let me come back and show you something. Initially, what you will do is at the level of tools, you will click on this icon and you will come to network. Once you come to network, you will come to NAT networks here. On NAT networks, it will be blank for you. There will not be anything here like you see for me. NAT network is there because I created it. But for you, it's going to be blank. Then you click on create. Once you click on create, it will automatically create and configure the network for you. You will not need to go giving the network an IP address and all of that. It will do that for you automatically. As you can see here, that is my IP address. So all the devices that will be connected to my NAT network, that is my virtual network, will all have addresses within this range. All right. You see DHCP server is enabled, and IPv6 is it has capacity for IPv6 addresses or addressing. So once you've created a NAT network, when you now come back to your operating system and you go to settings, remember, come back to network. At the level of attached to, you will now select NAT network. And you see it has automatically located the network because it's, by the way, the only NAT network that exists. And once I have this, I can say, okay. So every computer that I want on this particular network, I will have to select for each of their networks, NAT network, the first one. That means that what? That means I could have several other NAT networks. Like I could have more than one NAT network. And yeah, I'm going to discard changes. Remember, I'm taking this time to explain something to you. I could create several NAT networks. Probably, I've never done that before, but I think you should be able. And based on the number of networks you created, maybe let's say we have two NAT networks here. I could decide that Kali, Windows 11, and Windows 7 run on one network, and then Metasploitable, Parrot OS, and Windows Server 2019 run on another network. All I will do is at the moment when I am configuring the networks for each of the systems, I will put them on the corresponding NAT network so that I can have several networks of computers. So I hope that was clear. If anybody has additional questions, you can drop that in the comment section below. So if I come back to my operating system, which was installing, okay, you see, I have this first interface. It appears like a desktop, but this is just the first stage of the installation. I still have to install Dragon OS now, Noble, I guess that's how it's called. And then when I click on the setup that is on my desktop, it will open a window definitely where I will continue or I will proceed with my installation. Take note once again, what happens from here is available everywhere for each operating system. The step-by-step guide that you need to install an operating system is found on the official website of the operating system. All you need to do is go there and you know and then see how to do the step-by-step installation. To do that here will be too long because it will make the video too long, so I will not do that here, but it's available. I just wanted to address the technical aspects that have to do with the hypervisor and the operating system you want to install. So follow your installation to the end, and hopefully I know it's going to be successful. Once that is done, please, you're ready to go. We will see in the next video probably how to update the system, make it up to date if possible, and then I'll see, but it's not very difficult. All right, just get it installed. All right, get it installed, and then if you have questions, just leave them in the comment section. Okay, this video was actually a bit longer, but I hope this helped. Thank you, and see you.